letting folks know.
Okay.
Okay, so this one we're going to be working on is VP210, which is the HTTP methods using Python. So for this exercise, you're going to need to run Wireshark. So go ahead and fire up Wireshark, which you should have on your machines. And first thing we're going to do is grab this helpful starter code that Sam has provided us with. And let's go ahead and throw that into a text file here. Okay, and we'll save that as a new, project. So, okay, so should be right. Now let's go ahead and try running that and see what happens. Out. Okay, good. It ran as intended. You see the HTTP banner coming out there as we're supposed to. Make this a little smaller there so we can run them side by side. This out of the way. Okay. So you can see that we got some info on Sam's server just by running that little script there that we made. What happened was we pulled out the header from that HTTP header that gave us all of this banner info. Okay. And we can now try crafting our own GET request to log in. So let's go ahead and fire up Wireshark for this one. And what we're going to do here is I updated my Wireshark and it broke some stuff. Hopefully, I might have to restart it again here. Try that one more time. Please run for me. It's not happy. So I noticed sometimes I have to do this a couple times to get it to work properly. That's just because I'm running an old install. So let's try it again. There we go. Oh, there we go. Should work. Now, what we're going to do is go visit this. We're going to go visit this page right now. So I'm going to go ahead and open that in a new tab. And you can see when you open it, it brings us to a login page right now. So let's go back over to Wireshark. We'll stop that capture. And what are we looking for here? So the instructions tell us that we need to find a PHP login packet here. So let's go back over here and find it. So there are a variety of different ways that you can do this. I am a fan of, so we know it's an HTTP. Let's go ahead and do this, since we know that it's going to have a PHP in there. So let's go ahead and enter that as our display filter. And it shows us exactly what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look at this. We're going to right click on that and we're going to go down to follow. and we're going to follow in TCP stream here. And that gives us what we're looking for. We've got a little bit of info here that we can use in our next step of the process. So as you can see, and I'm going to pull this up right next to it. As you can see, what we have right here is the post request. And up here in the red section, we've got the HTTP request here that we sent when we loaded this page here. So what we're gonna do, I mean, you know, and we when we look at this, this just looks like a bunch of gibberish. Like you can't really do much with that info right there. So just bear that in mind and remember that we're gonna have to find a way to work around it. Okay. So let's go ahead and take the file that we just made. And make a new one. Save that. So following along with the instructions, the next thing that we're going to do is edit this a little bit and change it. So as you can see here in Sam's example, move this down a little bit. What he has done is taken that GET request from Wireshark that we just captured and found through following that TCP stream and plug it into the script here. So right now, our request is just this series of statements that brought in our banner that we looked at. So let's go ahead and add some more to that we pulled out from the GET request. So what we're going to do is take, we're going to go in here and take our, oops. I guess we're gonna need to find it again. I don't know. Wireshark angry with me, but that's okay. Here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna go start with the host connection here. As you can see, we already have this part in our script. So we'll just grab this right here, copy all of that, and then go back to our script and plug it in. So right here on this line, underneath that first request section, and I'll put an extra space in there to make it a little more readable. We're gonna go ahead and paste in the rest of that. We're gonna go ahead and paste in the rest of that right there. So then once we've done that, we're gonna keep the rest of our script the same. Though I noticed in Sam's example here, he had to add in some carriage returns. And we're probably going to have to do the same if we want it to work properly. Because once we send this to the server, once that's processed on the back end, it's probably not going to be able to break it up into separate lines. It will just evaluate this all as one line and get confused. So let's go ahead and put in some carriage returns here so that we don't run it, so we don't encounter that problem for each time. Upgrade and secure requests. Yes, we're gonna need another one there. And we're gonna need one after our user agents. And we're gonna need one after our accept encoding. So this is looking a little weird. We might have to make some modifications there. We'll see. And I'll put this here for now, but it's going to be an issue. Let's put another return, and let's just put in a gratuitous carriage return at the end just for fun. And then, oh, and I see a problem already here, is that we are going to need some quotation marks. So, oh, that's right. We got to do single quotes. Forgot about that. So we're going to do 3 single quotes on each end of this. I can do this down here to follow the example. It will differentiate between them and be unhappy with us. And there we go. That's looking a lot better.
I don't think you can add the target variable inside there with the triple quotes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I guess it just needs to be double quotes, doesn't it? And
no, you need triple quotes, but everything inside it has to be static text. So I just copy all the red stuff. Yeah. Just copy the get line and put it in there from Wireshark.
Yeah. Let's see. That doesn't look quite right, does it?
You just go back to Wireshark, you can get the first line.
Yeah, I just did actually. I just grabbed.
Yeah, just put that in.
That looks
That's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Put that carriage return in. Oops, wrong. Gotta get your slash going the right way.
I can see the track flag in there. That's.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird.
You must be using a funny browser, like something inside Kali or something.
Well, I'm not. And the other interesting thing was that it set my user agent as, oh no, it did. Okay. I saw Chrome and I was like, what? Or I mean, I saw Safari and I was like, what? I'm not using that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, I guess, because that might, well, I'll just leave it for now and see if it yells at us. Now let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. Did I save that as 1? Okay. Okay, so we get an error. That's good. As you can see, if you're following along, we want that because we've got a problem with our decoding. So let's go back, as you can see, and delete that accept encoding line there and see what happens. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Since that made it angry, and save it again and try running it one more time. Okay. Try running that again. Interesting. Okay, so now we didn't have that same gibberish problem. And it took us to the login page again. Interesting. So we actually can see kind of what's going on with this. And we can see that it pulled out. If we go back to that login page and we look at the code, we can see that it's going to be similar here. So you can see you've got your welcome page and everything else, and you can see that replicated. in the, let's see, this line here is replicated in your response that you get back. Okay, so we've got our readable response now that we ditched that accept encoding line. So what can we do next here? So let's try logging in on that page and run another capture in Wireshark and see what we get. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up another capture here. Go ahead and stop that. Start a new one. We're gonna just continue without saving because we don't need to save that PCAP file. We'll start a fresh one and take that filter out of there too. I think we need that. And let's go ahead and go to this login page. And let's try just logging in with student and student.
No, it's the other login page, login 2.
Oh, thank you for that, actually.
That's the number one mistake students.
Yep.
They go to the wrong page and then they can't get in.
Yep, thank you, because that would have led us astray. It helps to read the manual sometimes. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to log in here. Our login was rejected. How sad. Okay, so now we can go back and stop this capture that we started here, since we've got what we need. And let's go ahead and try to find that request that we just sent. So we know that we tried to sign in with the value of student and student. So let's try searching for that string again.
That's
so
cool.
now if we go to
that
post request and what?
I didn't know you do what HTTP contains. That's cool.
It's handy.
Yeah.
So then we found it. Quick way to, there's a bunch, like I said before too, there's a bunch of different ways you can find it. Wireshark is just rich with, I mean, I feel like every time I use it for a project, I learn new stuff about Wireshark just because it's so complex and awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and right click that and then do follow in TCP stream. And it'll bring us to what we're looking for. So as you can see here, in this case, it said that content length was 7 because the login attempt used a different length of stuff. So, you know, in Sam's example, he attempted to log in using a username of A and a password of B. So if he would have come over to log in here, this is what it would have looked like when he tried to log in instead of using student and student. That's why the content length here looks different than the one on the example that we're working on right now. On ours, the content length is 19 because we entered student twice. Hopefully that makes sense. So you can see here, down here, we can actually see what we tried to log in with using student and student, which is pretty cool. So let's scroll down and start working on the first one. So we are going to try to make a script that logs into this page right here for Bound Consulting. So let's see how far we can get on this before it's lunchtime. So we're going to be trying to get into this page that we just, I believe it's the same one we just attempted. Yeah, so we can use that. We can use this info that we used to do the same thing. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and try and log in using Dumbo as our username and Dumbo as our password, and then Python as our user agent. Let's go back to the script that we used before. And we'll just grab the whole thing and start a fresh one with it. Copy that. Go ahead and plug that in there. And we can go back to Wireshark and helpfully take all of this that we used and use essentially the same method that we used on the previous example. So we're going to go ahead and grab that, toss it in here. Make sure that we start putting in our carriage returns like we did last time, because we're going to need those. So let's go ahead and make sure we put those in for each line. What did we have to take out last time? Let's see, our encoding. Let's remember to take that out first of all, so we don't forget. Now we're gonna have to change our user agent again, but we'll change that in just a second, because I wanna make sure that everything else works before we start changing things. Okay. We want to get the same erroneous response as we got before. That is our goal, is to get an error message this time. So let's do that as okay, good. So, oh, we sent a request that it could not, we actually got a bad request error. So that means that there's something
Missing a
going
carriage
on.
return on the blank line before.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So that's why we just change a bit at a time. And let's go ahead and add in our other gratuitous carriage return.
No, the
and
one on
try it
line
again.
22 is the one.
Save that. Oh, yep, you are absolutely right. Go ahead and put that in there. Thank you for that, Sam. Let's go ahead and save it and move over to our terminal and run it again. Okay, still got a bad request. Let's go back and take a look.
I think you can't have those extra carriage returns at the end, but I'm not sure about that.
That may be. We'll take it out just to be safe.
Yeah, the last two.
Both of them? Okay.
Yeah, I think that might work.
Yeah.
Might even need to get rid of the one implied before the triple quote. Triple quote should be right after the T.
Okay. If this doesn't work, I will go ahead and do that. Yep, you are probably right. Let's go ahead and take that out of there. I believe you are correct.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, let's try that. Okay, bad request again. Let's go ahead and see what else we have screwed up here. Perhaps let's look at our Wireshark request again.
What I usually do is catch the script output in Wireshark.
Yeah, that's good. That's a clever way to do it.
Yeah, then I get the two streams next to each other, because I often have errors like this.
That's a good debugging way to do it. Okay, we've taken our encoding out. That's right. That's right. Content length should be correct. I think we needed to adjust that. Should be right. Just making sure that there isn't anything obvious first here that I have done.
Oh, wait, I think I see it. There's
Yeah.
the content type line is missing the \R.
Yes. Yep. Good eye.
Mhm.
Thought it might be something obvious.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and try running that again. Okay, good. Awesome. This is exactly what we want, which is login rejected. Because we tried to log in with not only the incorrect login and password, but also the incorrect user agent. So we're going to have to go back and change those. So let's try doing that. So instead of student and student, we're going to need to do Dumbo and Dumbo. And since student is 7 letters long and Dumbo is 5 letters long, we're going to need to change our content length as well. So let's change those. And let's go make sure that we change our content length and it's going to be, since student is 2 more letters than Dumbo, it's going to be, we're going to subtract 4 from our content length so that we enter 15 as our content length. So the other thing that we need to do is we need to change our user agent, because as it says in the instructions, we got that instead of the parameter that we're sending with, we need to send it with Python as our user agent instead. So let's try that. Okay, so let's save it and run it and see what happens. Hey, looks like it worked. So as you can see, our HTTP request went through just fine, and we were able to post successfully to the server and get the response that we wanted. So we got our flag here as we had hoped to do. So that one was successful and we got through it. So now
I'll stop that
if you want to stop the recording,
yeah.
great.